Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It is Ask the Doctor today. I've got my lab coat on. I'm all official. Today, we are going to be talking about bobbin tension problems, how to tension them, how to put the bobbin in right. I had some questions over the weekend and I decided to just do a whole thing on bobbins. So I'm just going to make sure I'm up here. Hang on. Did everybody have a good weekend? Finally got nice here in Seattle. The sun is out. Oh, there I am. Good. All right, Facebook land. Tell me where you're from if you're on Facebook so I can make sure. All right, so every Monday I do a Ask the Doctor series, and it's a troubleshooting show on a specific subject. So for a future date, hi Becky. For a future date, we're going to talk about foot pedals. I think that are going to be our topic next week. But today is going to be all about bobbin tension. I've also have some, hi Linda Wood from Texas and Lisa from Phoenix. I have some good information for you today and some tools that might be of interest to you. But first, I kind of have to show you guys something. So I've been working on a lot of quilts during quarantine. Sorry, my screwdriver is right in the middle of the camera. That's not good. And in fact, I'm on quilt number 6, and I just finished a UFO. Hi, Kathy. Hi, sewing machine technician Dan. I just finished a quilt that I've been working on for an entire year. So if you guys remember back to, hi, Debbie from Kentucky, and Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie. Looking forward to, oh, okay, good. So the quilt I'm going to show you was a block of the month from last year, 2019. It's by a good friend of mine, an artist designer named Roxanne Carter. I showed some of her patterns on my Sip and Sew on Friday night that I'm going to be doing. I think we all decided on rainforest, and I got my fabric. Let me grab my fabric that I got. We decided it was going to be a light colored background, but I just couldn't go with plain. So this is what I picked up today. Did you guys see? Whoa, I almost fell over. It's not a knit, but it has a bit of a weave to it, and it's not solid. I thought it would be a good, hi Nancy from Lake Stevens, a good background for that Tula Pink True Colors jelly roll I'm getting. Hi Mary from Seattle. All right, and Laura from Iowa's on. Gosh, lots of people today. So you guys ready to see the quilt? I did show you my fabric for the 2020 sampler, which I haven't started yet. I'm using the monkey wrench. I know, big fat shocker. Darlene is doing another Tula Pink quilt, or fabric pattern line. But here is my quilt as you go. Are you guys ready? It's huge. Look, there's 12 blocks. Don't look at how my blocks don't line up. There was some lessons learned, people. Lessons learned. Look. This whole quilt was done on my Featherweight. It was 12 20-inch blocks. I pre-quilted them. Hi, Sarah from Texas. I pre-quilted them like quilt as you go, and then I hooked them all together. I'm going to have the binding on it later on today or tomorrow, and I'll take a big picture outside so you can see all the blocks. But aren't they pretty? They're green. They're Tula. They're my jam. Can't help myself. Okay, we are going to get to, I know it's huge, and I did it on my Featherweight. Sarah says it's huge. That is the perk of quilt as you go, girls, is that you only have to work on one 17, 18, 19, 20-inch block at a time. And then when you start stringing them together, it just grows into this huge quilt. That quilt was actually supposed to have borders on it. And I didn't need another bed quilt. I wanted one for the couch, for a lap size quilt. And so I just skipped the borders because I just didn't want a quilt that big. But it could have been even bigger. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so today we're gonna do, sorry, I got distracted with pretty fabric and talking about quilting. Thanks, Sarah. Sarah says it's awesome. All right, so let's talk about bobbins. So I had this very nice lady messaging me over the weekend. She was not sure how to put her bobbin into her bobbin assembly. And I have a very specific way of doing it, because you can either get it in right or 180 degrees wrong. So there's I know Bridget says, I love the background in the green. I know. There's a very specific way to make sure you get it in right. And then there's a sanity check afterwards. So what I do, I'm going to turn around so you guys can see. I put my thread up over the top and to the left, so it makes the letter P. Do you guys see that okay? Okay. Then I'm going to pop it into my assembly, and while I'm holding it with my thumb, I'm going to thread it up through the tension plate. And at the end of the tension plate, there's like a V. It almost looks like a snake's tail, like it's split. Make sure your thread comes out of that. And then before you put it in your machine, you're just going to tug on it and make sure that it spins counterclockwise. If it's spinning clockwise, it means that you have it in 180 degrees the wrong way. So you take it out, flip it over, put it back in. Sarah says, how do I find a featherweight case? Found a machine, but it needs a case. I have cases. So you call me. Great. Okay, cool. All right, so that's how you put it in. Friend who I talked to over the weekend. Then you want to make sure it's tensioned properly. Whenever I'm having tension problems, last week we talked about upper tension assembly. There is a video on this on YouTube, like a canned video that I filmed on setting bobbin tension. So if I run through this too quickly for you, you can go out to YouTube, to Featherweight Doctor's page, and you can find my video on setting your bobbin tension. Is anyone else freezing? Oh, I don't know. I'm not freezing up, Miss Debbie. You might need to refresh the top of the page. Okay, so you need a little tool to make sure that it's tensioned properly. I call it a bobbin tension tester. We sell them on our website for $6.95. And they're the littlest, cutest little tool that if you are having trouble with your tension, this is the way to go. Hi, Missy from Redmond. Okay, great, Sarah, PM me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little alligator mouth clampy thing, my sophisticated words for these things, and I'm going to have it clamp onto my thread. And with my bobbin seated in the bobbin casing, I'm going to hold the ring up. I'm going to make sure I'm looking at the gram weight side, and I'm going to tug. And as I'm tugging, I'm going to get a reading for how many grams of pressure the thread is getting going through here. And this is set right. So the correct gram of pressure is anywhere from 20 to 25 grams. There's a margin of error there. If you're within 20 to 25 grams, your tension is set properly. If your number is bigger, it means you have too much pressure and you need to lighten your tension. And how you do that is you grab your handy dandy little baby screwdriver that has a baby little thin flat top, and you're going to, there are 2 screws, friends, on your bobbin tension tester, or your bobbin assembly, I'm sorry, and you are going to adjust the screw a very small amount. The screw closest to where the thread comes out of the little snake's tongue. That is the screw that you adjust. The bottom screw underneath it is the one that just holds the plate on. It doesn't do anything. So what I mean by a minute amount of adjustment is if you have too many grams, it means it's too tight. So you're going to lighten, so it's lefty loosey. And the adjustment should just be 5 minutes of time on the clock at a time. So like this right now is sitting at about 3 o'clock. I'm going to go to 2 o'clock. So again, just that tiny of an adjustment, and then you put it back into the tension tester and test it again and make sure that your tension actually moves. I've had cases where Bridget said that scale reminds me of the 70s. You know what it is? It's a rudimentary way of weighing your letters to say how many stamps you need to put on it. That's what this is. Anyway, if you're adjusting that screw, the one closest to where the thread comes out of the snake's tongue, and nothing is happening, you probably have thread or lint or something underneath that tension plate. So very carefully loosen the screw. Don't take it all the way out. It's a super big pain in the tail to get it seated again. And you're going to want to just run a needle or something underneath there to get the gunk out, because your screw isn't making any adjustment to your tensions. That's generally the problem. Sometimes it's because the actual bobbin assembly is worn out, and that might need replacement. So that's also a thing. Not very common though. But anyway, so that's how you make adjustments. If you're too loose, that would mean your gram weight was below 20 to 25. You need to tighten that up. And again, it's righty tighty, so it's right 5 minutes of time on a clock. Adjustments at a time. You don't make big swooping adjustments on your bobbin. So once you know that your bobbin is set properly, always start with your bobbin. Then if you're still having tension problems, then you go to your upper tension assembly and look at the video from last week, and you'll see how to recalibrate that. So that is the dispelling the mystery of the featherweight tension. This week I have kind of exciting things going on. On Wednesday, I'm doing my Boss Babe shop talk with a long armor. First time I've had a long armor on. She doesn't have a featherweight. I know we'll be nice to her anyway, right, ladies? But she's actually giving away a free quilt out. So you're definitely going to want to join us on Wednesday. It's 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Facebook, and then 4:30 on Instagram. We're going to give a keyword out during the shows, and then you're going to email in to get into the drawing. And if you go and watch both Facebook and Instagram, you get 2 keywords, you get entered into the drawing twice. So that is pretty exciting. Friday, I'm going to be working more on my Sip and Sew Tula Pink quilt, I believe. I was hoping to kind of have it done by now, but life, COVID, you know, just all of the excuses. Really, I took a weekend this weekend and decided not to work. So that is why that project is not done yet. If you have any if anybody has any questions that you'd like me to talk about during these Ask the Doctor things, you can go ahead and email into info at featherweightdoctor.com. If you're looking for this little bobbin tension tester, if you don't have one, it really will save your tail for $7. You can go out to the website, featherweightdoctor.com, and get one ordered. I have a ton of them. Also, if you would like this video, if you are enjoying these videos, please like these videos and feel free to share them out from your page. The more likes, the more views, the better the ratings are for them. So I really appreciate that. I feel like I covered that really fast. Thought I was going to be on for a good 20 minutes. So anyway, thank you for joining me. This is Darlene with Featherweight Doctor. I hope everybody has a wonderful Monday evening and a good dinner if you haven't already had dinner. And I will see you back on Wednesday for the shop talk, Boss Babe shop talk. Oh, Kathy said, can you tell about winding the bobbin without the thread wanting to bounce? Oh, yeah, that's a good, we can talk about that real quick. Do I have a thread? Let me grab a thread, hang on. So what I do when I'm winding a bobbin, I stick my thread on the spool pin and I run it through the hooky, that's the technical term for that, at the top, through the tension tester, and then over to the bobbin. I seat my bobbin wheel onto the belt and loosen the silver knob on the hand wheel. While it's running, Kathy, I stick my hand up like this and I hold the thread, because this is Aurifil is a cross-wound thread and it's supposed to come off of the top and not unwind it. It's supposed to come off the top. And when you I just hold my finger up like this while it's running, and that way this doesn't spin, putting an extra twist in the thread, and it also doesn't make the racket of it, you know, running around. So you called it bouncing around. It really just makes a racket as it's unspooling. So I just keep my little hand up like this. Also, if you have a thread stand or a exterior thread stand, it'll automatically hold it up like this so it doesn't make that racket either. My mom said, short show for tonight. I talked too quickly, I guess, Mom. I don't know. They make reproduction ones. I'm going to get one of those. I had to throw my, oh, that's too sad. Sullen had to throw hers away. That's not good. That's not good. All right, friends. So that is how that works, Miss Kathy and Sewing Machine Technician Dan. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you on Wednesday.